has a hit, the recruitment tool that aims to attract teenagers and children to join its cause. The mocked-up Grand Theft Auto 5 killer that aims to lure gamers to take their violent gameplays into real-life battlefield. This evidence is important to show that violent video games are powerful tools for ISIS to brainwash teenagers, helping them threatening the societies in the world. Violent video games have to be banned. And ISIS is a group of terrorists who torture people. Contention 2, Negative Effects, Robert and Carol Hart, 2011. Some of the most attractive and compelling games are extremely violent, bloody, and gory, and feature very strong language and sexual exploitation. Research claims that these games encourage violent behavior in the real world. Violent games are so fascinating and compelling that they can suck a huge amount of children's time and attention. This evidence is important because it shows that violent video games are fascinating and compelling, which causes addiction and social isolation. It needs to be banned. Contention 3. Shootings, recent rampage violence had rising sharply since 2007. John Wibby, September 22nd, 2014. Half of the deadliest shootings incidents have taken place since 2007. In September 2014, the FBI released a report confirming that U.S. mass shootings have risen sharply since 2007. This evidence is important because it proves that some of the worst deadliest gun and violent crimes have taken place recent decades. Violent video games badly influence our society and urge to be banned. Contention 4. Decreased empathy. Funk, 2003. Desensitization to violence involves changes both emotional and cognitive.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Most results of aggression are biased. Since 2007, this indicates only a 2% overlap inference between violent video game playing and aggressive behavior. More critically, however, publication bias analysts are in agreement that publication bias is a significant problem for this body of literature. Let's correct for publication bias. The relationship between violent video game exposure and aggression drops. Violent video game offers a safe outlet for aggressive tendencies. Sure, 2006. 7 of the located studies have been addressed the issue of heuristic effects, in which violent content media are used as a safe outlet for aggressive thoughts and feelings. Individuals can discharge their aggressive feelings by watching a fictional portrait of violence in the media. Interactive nature of the games allows players to act out aggression that is not allowed in the real world. Violent video game increased facial cognition, released in 2007. Regarding the potential positive effects of violent video games, while some studies have focused on general well-being, indicate that exposure to violent video games is associated with increases in facial cognition. Violent video games don't correlate with gun violence. Fisher, 2012. Now, if there was in fact a close correlation between video game consumption and gun violence, then we would expect the data to trend upward. But it's not hard to ignore that this data did.
Okay, Crossfire.
Brainwash children to treat life like nothing, especially with heads blowing off and limbs blowing off violent games. Is it okay?
No. Why did you say it decreases empathy?
It decreases empathy. It decreases empathy because changes in emotional responsibility are seen in the blunting or absence of emotional reaction to violent events, which would commonly elicit a strong response. Getting a great score and a word to encourage bloody killing. Does it make sense to you?
And why does it say, did you say it hurts society?
No, I didn't say it. But I said ISIS will threaten the world. And Bond video game is a new recruitment tool for ISIS. Bloody killing in video game is providing stick-minded ideas for people to mimic violence in reality. Do you agree?
No. Why?
You ready, Vincent?
Judges, are you ready? Opponent, are you ready? Okay. I disagree with his first contention. Increases acceptance of violence. No, I disagree with the first contention. Violent video studies are biased because, according to Funk, University of Toledo Department of Physiology, experience-based mental structures that influence information process and behavior exposure to violence strengthens the attitude that violence is an appropriate way to resolve conflict. I disagree with the second contention, positive effects with negative effects. Addiction, antisocial, violent behavior. According to Hart Global Research Information Directory 2011, but some of the most attractive and compelling games are extremely violent, bloody, and gory, feature very strong language and sexual exploitation. Research claims that these games encourage violent behavior in the real world. I disagree with this third contention that violent cognitive increases visual cognition because, according to Hart Global Research Information Directory 2011, some of the most attractive and compelling games are extremely violent, bloody, and gory, feature strong language and sexual exploitation. Now I'll explain my case. Contention 5. Decreases self-esteem. According to Funk, U of Toledo Department of Physiology, a preference for violent games was associated with lower self-precipitation in several areas associated with lower including self-esteem, behavior, product, social acceptance, and academic achievement in a recent survey. This evidence is important because it shows that violent video games affect self-esteem negatively, which will cause bigger problems in academic achievement and social studies. Violent video games need to be banned. Contention 6. Increases aggression. According to Anderson, Professor Iowa State 2003, violent video games are significantly associated with increases
that video game consumption based on international data does not seem to correlate at all with the increase of gun violence. That countries where video games are popular often tend to be some of the world's safest. Their best argument is video game increase aggression. Our best argument is that video game decrease violence. That is Sherry 2006. Our card proves their evidence is false and it turns the pro case. So we win.
Okay, crossfire. That's it, first question.
Compelling and bloody, fascinating games meant addictive. Addictive is something bad, right? Just like drug and alcohol is no good for us. Do you agree?
Not really. Why does it decrease self-esteem?
It decreases self-esteem because once you lose, you feel bad, and then you don't want to play, so you have no more confidence. Violence is not appropriate in any form. Do you agree?
Not really, because if we are someone is going to kill you or something, you can do something so you can save yourself. Okay. Why? You said it hurts society? You didn't say it hurts us.
But yes, we did, because once you play video games,
Is anybody not ready?
I don't think so.
We win because our best argument, violent video games are the new recruitment tool for ISIS. And my opponent's best argument is visual facial cognition. Our best outweighs because we need violent video games to help, because violent video games help ISIS recruit violent people. Then ISIS will threaten the world with horrible. And ISIS is a group of terrorists who torture people, who kidnap and torture. Our second best evidence is negative effects, and my opponent's second best is violent video games safe outlet. Negative effects outweigh because it shows that violent video game contains wrong language, violence, bloody action, and bloody action. Our third best evidence is shooting sprees and rapid violence, and my opponent's third best is doesn't correlate with gun violence. Ours outweighs because it shows that exposure to violent video games is a factor for increased aggressive behavior. We are team vote for this, bro.
Extend our studies on bias card, which proves all of their evidence is false. Also extend our Sherry 2006, which proves games decrease violence. This turns the pro case. We win this debate now because violent games make kids less violent, not more violent. We turn the pro case. We win.
Grand Crossfire. Bro, first question.
you said that studies are biased. How can you prove that?
Because because the evidence is Fisher 2012. Why did IS have to do with this?
Because IS has a new recruitment tool that will recruit, like they'll use video games to recruit those gamers, and then once they recruit them, they will join the ISIS, and then they will affect millions of people. Like if they only recruit 5, some of them will be suicide bombers and affect millions of people.
Why can't a non-violent video game decrease in accuracy? Why can't a non-violent video game decrease in accuracy, which is visual facial recognition?
Because it doesn't say here. Unlike when people play the IS violent video games, maybe they don't.
Okay. You want to take a breath? Or are you good?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Judge, are you ready? Okay. Our best argument is a recruitment tool for ISIS outweighs his best argument. My opponent's best argument, studies are biased. First, magnitude. Lots of people will play violent video games, so lots of people will be like. Some people will be recruited from ISIS. Since those people will be recruited.